Each news time, information is power. Be current. How police killed welder and labeled him IPOB leader to cover up. According to the report by Sahara reporters, Nigerian police force killed Chigozie Nwaewu, a 23-year-old welder in Imo State, and allegedly branded him as a member of the indigenous people of Biafra to justify their actions. But later declared him a wanted IPOB member who had been leading attacks on security personnel and facilities in the state. The owner of the workshop, Uchenna Chukwuanyanwu, popularly known as Son of Iron, who was a childhood friend of the deceased, was also arrested by the police. It was gathered that Nwaewu had visited his bosom friend at his workshop when suddenly a Venza car pulled up in the area and its occupants quickly grabbed the welder and threw him into the car. According to a source, they were about to drive off from Nwaewu, asked them why they were taking his friend away, and the occupants of the car, who were in mufti, shot him on the forehead, killing him instantly and zoomed off. As people gathered to see what had happened, the car returned and the frightened onlookers took to their heels. The car occupants picked up Nwaewu's corpse and dumped it in the car and zoomed off again. However, the people were shocked to read a statement by the police claiming that the late Nwaewu was a member of the IPOB. According to the statement by the police spokesperson Mike Abatam in Owerri, Friday, October 8, 34-year-old Nwaewu was described as IPOB champion who played a major role in the killing of police officers and burning of police stations in Imo, and had long been declared wanted by the police and was arrested following credible informations. It further said that the police also killed an IPOB member who joined other members to frustrate the arrest of the kingpin. The statement read, "The suspect raised the alarm, alerting members of his gangs, picked a cutlass and rushed at one of the police operatives and attempted chopping off his head, but was overpowered, disarmed, and the cutlass recovered. While this was on, the already alerted members who came in their numbers to rescue him engaged the police in a gun duel, and in the process, one of them was neutralized while others escaped with bullet wounds." Abatam added that one locally made double-barrel pistol with two expended cartridges, 2 live cartridges and charms were recovered at the scene, adding that the suspect was presently undergoing interrogation and had made useful statement to the police. He also said that the police were collaborating with sister security agencies to arrest members of the group, especially those that escaped with bullet wounds. However, this claim has been widely rejected by the community, who knew the victims and contradicted the police statement. They described the duo as very hardworking young men who were always mobilizing youth in the community to help widows. The community knows who is who, and these young boys are some of the best. The one police shot at close range is a graduate of Polytechnic who is looking for a job and keeping busy with helping out his friend at the shop. Our community has been thrown into mourning because of this incident, a source who craved anonymity said. Investigations have revealed that the security operatives who came could have come from DSS, and their target was actually one Chidera, an aluminium worker who owns a shop close to Uchenna's. Chigozie was shot to death simply because he insisted to know the reason Uchenna was abducted. The community is angered by the press release made by the police, labeling Uchenna as the leader of indigenous people of Biafra in Ehime Mbano, which they describe as lies from the pit of hell to destroy their bad actions. It was gathered that they were rallying round to petition the Inspector General of Police to investigate the extrajudicial killing of Nwaewu and also to secure the release of Chukwuanyanwu. And this is the news yet again that outrage has actually occurred as the police people actually killed a graduate who the community has actually said was looking for a job after he had passed out from a polytechnic, and because he doesn't want to be idle decided to work with his friend at his welder shop. And while the information goes that Chigozie Nwaiwu was actually at his friend's welding shop at a close range in the presence of many witnesses, but the police actually came around and they grabbed him. They grabbed Nwaiwu, and then they pulled him up and actually threw him into their car. And according to his source, while they were trying to drive off, then Nwaiwu asked them why they are taking his friend away, and the occupants of the car who were in the mufti actually shot him at the forehead at a very close range and killing him, and they zoomed off immediately. And people gathered there to see what had happened, and perhaps they saw that and they quickly came back, and the onlookers, actually the communist people that saw the event and moved closer to see the cause, they actually ran away, while the car actually turned back, and they picked up Nwaiwu's corpse and dumped it in the car, and they zoomed off again. And that is there are two friends actually now. There is one, Chigozie Nwaiwu, then there is another one, another young man, Uchenna Chukwuyanwu. So now the Uchenna now is actually known as Son of the Iron, and is actually the friend to the deceased, that is Nwaiwu. So that is the justification there. We have to get it clearly that Uchenna is the owner of the workshop, and then Nwaiwu was actually his friend. That one was the one they actually shot. So while the police officer came to arrest the owner of the shop, that is Uchenna, that was when Nwaiwu had actually visited the friend, and while the police actually arrested Uchenna, and Nwaiwu was like trying to ask why they picked him off, that's when they shot him dead. And the suspect raised while the police actually released their own report. They said that while they came around to arrest them, because they tagged them as IPOB members and leaders, within that locality of Ãrrêst, and they said that he was actually championing the IPOB and the IPOB, agitation in that area, and being known as terrorist group. While they got there, that his friend Nwaiwu actually alerted the other people, their gang, in the words of the police, and they brought out some gun and cutlass, and they beat to defend themselves. That was when he was shot dead, and they arrested Uchenna to go and query him for investigation. And the communist people are of the opinion, one of them who begged to be anonymous, that this was actually a total lie, that the two young men are actually hardworking people, and they are proud to have them in the community, that they have also even been mobilizing youth and the community to help out widows in that environment. Thanks for listening.